Hi, folks. I'm Hector Garcia, QuickBooks Pro Advisor, and I'm very involved with the Pro Advisor and accounting community with QuickBooks Online. So I reached out to Christine from Intuit, who works in the QuickBooks Online Advanced segment. And I'll let Christine introduce herself. Christine, tell us a little bit about what you're working on now.
Perfect. Hi, everybody. Christine Byrne here. And as Hector mentioned, I am on the QuickBooks Online Advanced segment. And what I'm working on is the newest member of the QuickBooks Online lineup, which is Advanced. And this product is specifically geared to customers that are growing, these mid-market customers that have taken the opportunity to take their business from where they began to now having 10 to 100 employees. And what we found is that these businesses sometimes fall victim to their own success, and what they're using today isn't meeting their needs. And so Advanced has additional features, additional functionality to simplify what becomes so complex as you grow and as those tedious tasks become more and more time consuming.
And to provide some context for some of the folks that have been using QuickBooks for longer than when QuickBooks Online became the new norm, in the QuickBooks Desktop world, we went through a similar scenario where QuickBooks Pro and QuickBooks Premier was also being outgrown by a specific segment of the small business segment. And a new product was launched to essentially compete or complement the current desktop offering, which was called QuickBooks Enterprise. And with that came more features and obviously a bigger price tag. That's just kind of how it goes. So I actually see this being a very similar repeat that we had over 10 years ago when QuickBooks Enterprise came to be. So to provide some additional feedback for the folks that have been using QuickBooks Online. So when QuickBooks Online was first released, there was, or I would say not first released, but when it really, again, 2013, when it was redesigned, it was about a 3 SKU option, right? We still have the Simple Start, the Essentials, and the Plus, and these 3 products are supposed to be segmented based on the client size and their needs. And then recently, in the last couple of years, you inserted a SKU which doesn't bear the name of QuickBooks Online, but it bears the name of QuickBooks Self-Employed, which is supposed to capture a whole segment of the small business population, which don't need a balance sheet, don't need the accounting concepts, and just want like simple money in and out. But then there's basically a missing element, which right now QuickBooks Desktop and QuickBooks Enterprise is fulfilling, which is these companies that have more than 5 people that need to use QuickBooks at the same time, large chart of accounts, many classes and locations because they have multiple cost centers, more complexity in their accounting. And I guess QuickBooks Online Advanced is the answer to that, correct? Could we say that this is sort of the attempt for Intuit to create the enterprise-esque version of QuickBooks Online?
That's exactly right. And to your point, we have been building out this online ecosystem, leveraging the artificial intelligence and machine learning that has all the goodness in our entire QuickBooks Online lineup. And now it's how do we grow that offering to meet the needs of the larger customers? And you're right. So as part of Advanced, what we have is 5 times the amount of users of QuickBooks Online Plus. So you get up to 25 users. And then there's also more personalization in terms of the support that you receive. You get to call into our priority care, bumped up to the front of the line, additional training through our real world training, which is about a $2,000 offer that we're giving to Advanced customers at no additional charge. And then there's also the features and functionality of Advanced that complement the business as they are growing in size and complexity.
So I'm glad you mentioned that because I recently set up a client in QuickBooks Online Advanced, and I was very intrigued by this whole concept of training, right? Because one of the marketing pieces that you're adding to this new SKU is that it's going to include training or provide more training, or Intuit will give you more training in exchange of this SKU. And a lot of fellow pro advisors like me that do training felt that it's Intuit kind of encroaching into our territory, but it's actually not that. It looks like in the top right of the of the area where your customers log into, there's going to be something that says take free QuickBooks training, and you would click on explore courses, and it will take you to the real world training website, which is the place where people will normally purchase a video based training. And I guess you guys have some sort of deal with them where you give them $2,000 worth of their training programs for free as part of the program. So I think that, you got video based training, and these are pretty extensive. I was going through them. I was actually pretty impressed. I mean, there's multiple hours worth of training in there. And I think a lot of my customers are gonna enjoy having access to those videos. So I see that as a plus, but it's not necessarily that your support team is going to give the clients training, correct? When you meant by training, was just videos.
Correct. Okay. It's just through the videos. And, I'm really happy to hear that, because that's what we've been hearing from our accountant partners and pro advisors, that this is supplementary. It's not actually taking away from the value that the pro advisors provide to our customers.
Okay. So thank you. We clarified that. So the QuickBooks Online Advanced SKU, it's going to be much more expensive than the Plus, right? It's going to be $150 a month. Correct. That's the price for now, right? Is there any plans to make that even higher, or is that the price for now?
Not at this time. That's the price for now.
Okay. And for accounting professionals that add on QuickBooks Online Advanced to their client list, they'll have access to a specific percentage of that, right? Is it 50% or 30%?
It's 30%.
All right. So you guys made the decision not to make this one 50%, but you will still keep the 50% for Essentials and Plus, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So that clarifies that. And what additional new features, other than the additional training, people are going to get right off the bat when they go to the QBO Advanced SKU?
Yeah. So there are a couple of features that we launched right after our initial launch in August. And I'm just going to touch on those briefly. So we talked about the additional training. We talked about the additional users that a customer can add into Advanced. But we also launched Smart Reporting powered by Fathom. And so we heard from so many customers that they wanted enhanced visualizations, ways to look and cut their data in the ways that could help them make better business decisions. So we've partnered with Fathom to provide enhanced reporting in Advanced. And normally a small business would pay $39 a month for that added feature, but we're giving that as part of the QBO Advanced SKU to all of these customers.
So people that have QuickBooks Essentials or Plus, they can add a third-party add-on called Fathom Reporting and have all that functionality, but you guys decided to partner up with them and make it free as part of the offering.
Exactly. And then in terms of batch functionality, I talked about that a little bit at the beginning. So we are on a longer journey around batch creating invoices, but so far we've launched a new feature called batch import. And so what customers can do is they can take a CSV file, import all of the information that they need to upload into QuickBooks Online Advanced, and do that with one click. So it takes away the manual one-by-one entry that it would normally take, and you can do it all at once.
And I'm going to go ahead and do a webinar in the next couple of weeks where I'm going to demo all these new features in it. But I'll just to give you a quick preview. When you're logged in through QBO Advanced and you go into the import data section right here where it says import data, you're going to see a new box here that says import invoices. And when you click on import invoices, it will take you basically to the screen that looks the same as any other data import areas, where you can take a CSV file, which could be made in Excel, CSV file, and you can take information about an invoice. And there's a really cool cheat sheet you guys included here that basically shows, okay, this is what the spreadsheet template will look like, and these are all the fields and how they translate into the invoice document itself. So for folks that are working with customers that maybe are producing invoice information, sales information outside of QuickBooks, maybe through shopping carts or maybe through another accounting system, they'll be able to take that spreadsheet and import it into QuickBooks. That's huge, because usually people are paying between $10 and $20 a month extra for apps that do that. And those apps are wonderful, don't get me wrong, but in my opinion, I think I would love QuickBooks to have all the importing capabilities built in. So I love the fact that you guys started with invoices. I would love to see more though in the
Yes.
next couple of months.
Yes, we are early in our journey, and that was actually one of the reasons why we started with the import functionality. Is we saw that a lot of our existing customers were connected to those import apps, and we said, hey, there's an opportunity for us to provide that functionality in advance, especially as we know not all of the workflows are being completed in QBO. So that's the beginning of the journey. And the next iteration of the batch functionality will be the creation of invoices. So there's going to be a single table where you can enter in all of the information that you need on your invoices at one time. Click send it out, and it's done for you. So taking away that manual one by one creation of invoices and turning it into a batch process.
So for those recurring revenue subscription type companies that need to invoice 100 people in one shot,
Exactly.
that's going to be a great solution for that, right? That's good. QuickBooks Premier actually has that feature, so we'd love to see that in QuickBooks Online. That's awesome. Now, Christine, I want to talk about a couple of things that are just extremely important, which is the decision to make this another SKU with a much bigger price tag than the existing QBO versus taking your existing lineup and increasing the prices to it. Because I remember, I've been consulted by QuickBooks people many times about the value that QuickBooks brings into the table, and and I've been asked many times, can people pay $100? Can people pay $200?
Right.
You guys are protecting your shareholders, and you want to make sure that if your software is providing high amounts of value, that you're pricing accordingly. And I've always said, and people are going to hate me for this, I always said that there was room for it. Although many accountants think that people won't pay $150 for software, I have QuickBooks Enterprise customers that pay $1,000 a month when they have multiple users hosted in the clouds for enterprise. So there is the opportunity. Obviously, Christine, one of my feedback to you is you have to back it up with features, right? So we want to see a big list of features that are coming in the pipeline for this to make sense. But you guys did make the decision to create a separate SKU and not increase your current SKU set. So what was the logic on that? And also, how are the other SKUs being affected by this?
Yeah, so it's a great question. And in terms of the way we're looking at this SKU and differentiating it between our existing QBO products, this is specifically designed for that growing mid-market or enterprise customer. And when you look at a customer's journey from starting out to getting into that, I have over 10 employees, I have multiple locations, and you're stretching out of your current solution, there are not a lot of options between QuickBooks Online and then a full-blown enterprise solution such as a NetSuite, for example. So what we're doing is we're creating a feature-rich product that is designed specifically for that mid-market customer, helping them understand how this will help simplify their workflows, the complexities that they deal with on an everyday basis by providing differentiated features such as the custom permissioning as they see their organization grow, and in some cases stretching out of their current business management solution. So it's a distinct decision to look at the customer that we're targeting and make it an easy decision and a distinction between our existing lineup for them to choose the right solution for them.
So to just reiterate, you guys could have raised the price of the current product set because clearly your product is best in class and customers love it, and the growth rate of QuickBooks Online has been astronomical, probably beating all the expectations. So you could have increased that price, but instead you created a separate SKU,
right?
For that. So I certainly appreciate that, but there's going to be some questions about something that you guys are calling the usage limits.
Yes.
Which is going to affect the customers that are in this advanced segment that are using the wrong product, that are in Essentials or Plus. So can you explain exactly what the usage limits are and how that's going to be implemented and how that's going to affect all the SKUs across the board?
Absolutely. So following on to why we decided to make an additional SKU and help customers identify which SKU they should be in, these product usage limits are our way of helping to guide that conversation with our customers. So when we look at the product usage limits, they're going to be in 3 categories. One is users. So up to 5 users will be the capabilities in Plus. Chart of accounts, up to 250 accounts in chart of accounts. And then lastly, classes and locations, which will be up to 40. And so when we look at our entire QuickBooks Online customer base, this is the top 5% of our QBO customers. And when we look at the data of how they're using the product, they really are using it to the fullest extent. And where we're coming at it with the conversations with the customers is, if you go to advanced, you will have additional features that will help you on your current trajectory of growth and actually help you be more efficient. And so that's how we decided on these product usage limits, and then also how it aligns with the broader QuickBooks Online lineup.
All right, let's reiterate. Existing customers, if a person is in Simple Start and they want to move to Essentials, if they're in Simple Start and they want to move to 2 or 3 users, they have to move to Essentials. So they have to move from the $20 a month solution to a $35 a month solution. It's a different SKU, additional features, but just going from 1 to 3 users, that will require you to go to Essentials. So that's correct, right?
Correct.
Right. So if you're in Essentials and you want to move to 4 or 5 users, you automatically have to move to Plus, right? Which is going to move you from the $35 a month solution to the $60 a month solution.
Yes.
Right? Now, if you are in Plus and you have 5 users and you want to move to 6 users, just to 6, all the way to 25, you're going to have to go from Plus into Advanced. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. What about the current customers, for example, that are in Plus that have, let's say, 10 users and they're paying the additional user fee? Are those going to be forced to be moved to migration? To migrate to Advanced, or would that be a process?
No, they will not be forced. So any customer that is over their product usage limits today, they don't have to make any change. It's when they want to add an additional user or an account that they have to make the decision of, do I want to edit what I have in QuickBooks today to get below those thresholds, or do I want to upgrade to Advanced to gain unlimited access as well as access to additional features, as I was saying, to simplify complexity in their current workflows.
Okay, so that's clear about number of users, right? So you got 1 user, 3 users, 5 users, or between 6 and 25, all new customers are going to choose 1 SKU between those 4. Now,
Yes.
In terms of chart of accounts, so if I have a customer that's using Simple Start, Essentials, or Plus, any of the 3 SKUs, and they have 250 accounts or more,
Yep.
are they gonna be forced to move to Advanced?
No, they will be able to keep their existing accounts, but should they choose to add an additional account, at that point, they'll either be asked to edit their data or upgrade into Advanced.
So the minute you hit 250 accounts and you want an extra account, at that point, you have to go straight to Advanced. Even if were in Simple Start, you're going to have to go straight to Advanced.
That's correct.
So that's going to be interesting, getting some people from $20 a month to $150 a month, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Yeah. Now, on the other usage limit feature, it's going to be classes and locations. So this is only going to affect the Plus customers. Mm-hmm. So if you got a Plus customer with less than 250 accounts, right? But 40 or more classes or locations, is it a combination of the two or in each one?
A combination of the two.
Okay, so if I got 20 classes and 20 locations, right? I have any math that adds up to 40 between classes and locations, then they'll be able to keep their current software, but they can't add an extra one. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, okay, and then they have to move to the Advanced SKU.
Right.
And just a technical question. I'm not sure you guys have this ironed out. Let's say I have a customer that has 250 accounts and they're in Simple Start and they want to add an extra account where they won't be able to. What if I delete a current account? So can I get rid of stuff to be able to add? Okay.
Yes, you can. So if you delete 5 chart of accounts and you're now at 245, you can add additional 5 accounts and still be at that threshold.
I mean, I would argue anyway that if you got someone paying $20 a month for Simple Start and they got 250 accounts, there's something wrong there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I mean,
Exactly.
that's a big chart of accounts already in the first place.
Yeah, and that's what we found from talking to customers, talking to accountants about this is if customers have reached these product usage limits, there's something there that they would actually benefit from being in a more robust solution. And so back to the point about creating a new SKU for these customers, that's what led us to this decision.
And I don't know if you can speak to this, but how did you come up with those numbers? I mean, was this did somebody just come up with them? Did you guys do an analysis to figure out that 95% of clients fall into this specific threshold or limit? How do you come up with these numbers?
So for these product usage limits, we did an extensive analysis and looked at who's in the top 5% of our existing base to come up with these limits. We went through some iterations of what entities they would be from a product usage perspective and landed on these 3 such that it wouldn't impact the customers of their current workflows and the ways that they're using QuickBooks, but rather help them to make that decision to go up to advanced.
So if I understand that correctly, you looked at your entire client base of 3 million customers or whatever it happens to be, and then you took the top 5% and you kind of figured out how many accounts and classes that we're using and number of users. And so you're doing this. So what you're saying is some people will be affected by this, so expect some people to be affected by this, but it by far shouldn't be anywhere close to half or the majority.
Exactly. And one clarifying point is for any of these product usage limits, if a customer makes any of their data inactive, that will not be counted towards these limits.
Yeah, so deleting or inactivating any entry that's either an account or a user
Right.
or a class won't count towards it. Okay,
Correct.
perfect. So what we should be excited about on the QBO Advanced new SKU is going to be automatically getting all 25 users. Right? That's available now. Getting the additional free training from real world training, the videos. You mentioned better technical support, not as relevant to me as a pro advisor as it may be to maybe some of the end users.
Right.
The ability to do more than 40 classes and more than 250
Yes.
accounts. You mentioned the client overview, so better reporting. Fathom, you're gonna add that app as part of the new offering, and
Yes.
batch import, which will be available. Sorry, batch import available now, and batch creation of invoices will be available when?
In the next couple of months.
Okay.
And 2 other customization features that we haven't talked about yet are the custom user permissioning as well as custom fields. And so we have our first iteration of the custom user permissions out today, and you're going to be seeing some improvements in that with additional permissions in the coming months. And then for custom fields, this will take the current 3 fields that you can customize and be expanding that. And again, you'll see that in the next couple of months.
So Christine, in terms of time frame, when are we going to expect all these changes to come in? When is this thing going to be active as of when? We're talking about the usage limits specifically.
Yeah, so it's going to be at the end of March until the May timeframe that these limits will come into effect.
Christine, thank you very much. In a couple of months, let's chat again and let's talk about the new things that are coming. And to remind you, if you're watching this before February 21st, I'm putting together a webinar where I'll be teaching the specific features that we talked about, right? The Fathom, the custom users, if that's, the custom user permissions, the custom fields, if they're out by then, the batch importing of invoices, and all the things that will be included with that QuickBooks Online Advanced SKU. Thank you very much, Christine. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.